I just clicked the wrong button. Sorry, I accidentally disconnected from streaming. I know what I didn't do. I didn't post on Watch People Code.
That's why no one's watching.
I know. I guess that's where all the traffic comes from.
What are you crying about? You can go out.
All right, that's why no one was watching. I mean, except the people that were watching. Okay. All right, where was I? Monster tooltips. So something's going on with the Y position. So subtracting 24 okay. It's a little weird. Okay. Right, so something's definitely funny. No, I guess not, because that rat has no capabilities. Right. So that's the problem. If a monster has no capabilities, then we're going to add an extra 38. So it might have only been messed up for that monster, or any monster that has no abilities. Yeah, that's what it was. Because it was adding an extra 38 characters, whether or not, for monsters like giant, like any other monster, most monsters have some abilities. So you can see this guy has 3 abilities: cowardly, cooperative, and diseased. So it adds space for those icons, but on this guy who didn't have any abilities, it was adding that space anyway. It's like if I make this guy burn, make sure he looks okay. Yeah, looks good. Alright. So that one looks fixed. We'll call that one done. Let's take a look at those icons and see if we can figure what's going on there. Hello, people that just joined. I'm David. We're working on our game We Slay Monsters. We're trying to get update 25 of our game out, hopefully later this afternoon. So we're just kind of going through and dealing with any last minute features that need to be done or bug fixes or things that are busted and try to get it ready to go. So what I'm working on right now is that we're missing a bunch of icons for some of our things you can do to monsters, like they can be poison or burning, and the icons aren't showing up correctly. Okay. So burning is there, which means it's probably... I keep going to the wrong folder. So probably it's just that it tries to name... we've set up this naming scheme, and buffs and debuffs have an adjective associated with them, and it's probably that it doesn't match. The name of the graphic doesn't match the name of the debuff. Let's see if that's true. This does say burning. Let's go back and look at our game and see what it's trying to do. Icons, debuffs, burn. So why is it looking at burn? I know why, because there's another status effect. That's why. So there's a burn status effects basically can have two different ways they can be applied. One of them is the ground is burning, in which case the damage that comes from that isn't caused by any particular creature. Then we have an originated burning, which means that some creature did something to you to cause you to burn, or vice versa, or the player did something to a creature to cause them to burn. As I mentioned before, I've switched over to Visual Studio recently, so as I run across classes, I'm running them through ReSharper's code formatting. If you haven't used ReSharper and you're a C# developer doing Unity stuff, I highly recommend using Visual Studio with ReSharper over MonoDevelop, because MonoDevelop is very sad. Okay, so now what I need to do is kill my save game and then try again and see if that fixed it. You know, I bet you, I'm going to go ahead and fix poison while I'm at it, because I bet you poison is the exact same thing. So poison, yeah. So the debuff for poison is called poisoned. Verb tenses, man, they'll get you every time, especially when you build your game around them. We're trying to do it this way so that a lot of the images can be derived, the names of all these things, so we don't have to basically code a list of debuffs to graphics. It just makes things a little easier to manage, except for stuff like this. So originated poison status effect does not give it a new name, so that should fix poison and burn. How's everyone doing today? Got a bunch of some people aren't saying anything in chat. Should introduce yourself. So this is, I also recommend if you're a game developer, we basically built a console into the game. For Unity, it's actually just a project that's out on GitHub. I'll put a link to it in the in the chat. But it basically allows us to. It's very simple using the Unity UI. It's nothing complex. You can build your own very easily, but it allows you to build your own set of commands. It's basically like the Quake console if you've ever played Quake, but it's been very helpful in letting us as developers manipulate our game world to set things up the way we want them to be. So now he's burning and the icon is correct. So that's what I was trying to fix. I need to check poison damage as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit my save game and give myself some poison damage. Make sure this is me. Yeah. So now I've got some poison damage. Poison damage only applies when you use your primary weapon attack. No, that's going to kill him. Well, that's okay. So I'll go ahead and kill this guy and then I'll spawn another one. I'll spawn one that's a little higher level so it won't get killed right away. So now he's got poison on him. Now it says he's poisoned. Excellent. So those are the two things I wanted to fix, burn and poison damage. So we'll call those fixed. So if you haven't seen this before, this is Trello. We use Trello to keep track of all of our tasks that need to get done for the game. Trello is completely awesome. You should use it. Let's go to GitHub. So here is the Unity 3D. Don't need to watch me watching a commercial on Twitch. Okay, I probably should have done that on the other screen so it wasn't showing that. But this is the thing we're using for the console. It's really neat. I just forked the repository and then pulled that into our project as a Unity as a Git submodule. So you can see it's here somewhere. Ah. Sorry, I'm used to being able to do these Unix commands a little better, so I'm messing up the syntax here. Ah, never mind. It's in here somewhere. Just can't remember how I imported it. Well, okay. Enough of that, sorry. I'm just getting distracted. All right. All right, so a couple of things. If you weren't here earlier, we were talking about getting, trying to identify all the things we want to get done for update 25 of our game. So we're trying to basically finish the update off and get that out maybe tonight. This is one thing I can do. Is the new with this update is a new character sheet. And with the character sheet, basically the way we've implemented pets, there we go. Had to make sure there was a character that started with a pet, otherwise I was going to have to fake it out. So here's a pet. So pets are implemented in the game as monsters with a special AI. This is actually a known bug too. The portrait for the big things, the big monsters don't show up. So the character sheet for monsters is the same as the character sheet for pets, but a lot of it doesn't make any sense. Like the pet isn't going to do any damage to the hero, but it does have an ability. It's interesting. Something's going on here that's not right. There should be an icon for this ability, I thought. Let's see. Okay. Let's go check that out and see what the deal is. I don't think that's the right one. Monster character. Maybe that is the right one. Let's go look at the game and see. Make sure I'm editing the right script. Alright, so there's the monster character sheet, which is monster character sheet panel. Okay, so that is correct. So first thing I'm going to do is reformat the code in this guy using ReSharper. And then figure out what I want to do for pets. One of the things is I just don't understand why why this is showing up the way it is. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to go back and look at it again. Sorry if I'm clearing my throat. I'm still getting over a little bit of a cold, so I'm a bit congested. I know it's probably annoying. Trying to figure out where this line of text right here is coming from. Because it's can't really figure out. Passive can see you, damage to hero, pounce. And I don't understand why. Range attack, that's what it is. Okay. So kittens have a range attack. That didn't sound right.
This is the range attack.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I thought there was a... That's what it is. So I started off with the pounce as a ranged attack, but then I made it an ability, so other monsters can get it. And then I forgot to change kitten to use the ability. Let me go ahead and reformat this guy while I'm at it. So that's the problem. So kittens need to have the pounce attack ability instead of having a range attack. So we're going to do... If I could remember how to add an ability like that. Okay, so we don't need... That actually simplifies this guy a lot because we shouldn't need to do any of this stuff. We don't have to do a bunch of special handling now for kittens. The way I implemented it is I made kittens have the ability to pounce, which is essentially they stay where they are and they attack and then go back into place. Before I made it an ability that any monster could have. So, yeah, that should be better. So let me kill my save game and start again and then see how it looks. But I did notice another problem while I'm here. There was a big gap in the abilities right here that basically left a spot for the icons, but I only need to do that if they actually have any capabilities. So, did I already kill that game? I did. So actually, I'm gonna remove that ability real quick just to test the thing I just fixed. So a monster with no abilities will show up correctly, and there won't be a big gap in the character sheet. So Clearly, there needs to be a little bit of room there. So I'll change this up. Ugh. Let's go for 14. Everybody's always so quiet in chat. Everyone likes to lurk and just watch me do stuff. If anyone has any questions, just let me know. Or you just want to say hi. That looks better. Okay, so now let me add the pounce ability to the cat. Make sure that shows up okay. Hey, how's it going? Frosnick and Unknown VS13. How you guys doing today? Or how are you people doing today? I shouldn't assume you're guys. Nothing happened because I forgot to kill my save game.
So I picked a warrior to test out this thing, but how, I should have picked a wizard. How can I kill the prisoner with the warrior? A sweep with the sword?
Yeah, that'll do it. Yeah, you could, I mean, you could, that's really the only thing I think that you could do. Or the super attack with the sword or the regular attack with the sword. Oh yeah.
Summon fireball. What will happen? Deal fireball.
Yeah, if you, is there a monster behind them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so fireball them. It will light the ground on fire. Alright, so I need to fix pounce as well, because pouncing,
Oh, dealt 0 fireballs.
you've already used them all.
No, warrior.
Oh. Right? That'll never work.
Somehow, I need to do sword jump. I get this one monster to walk down to where the key is.
You could spawn a monster, and hopefully it'll spawn right on where the key is. Well, if you spawn it 3 times,
Right? It'll happen. Spawn, loop from 101.
okay. So now that I've got that stuff fixed, I'm going to work on stuff we don't want to show if the monster's a pet. So like this whole bit here, we don't want to show any of this level difficulty indication if the monster's a pet. So monster. Yeah, sorry I didn't see your chat. Yeah, this is it's Visual Studio in C Sharp. So I'm doing a Unity game, and it's C Sharp with ReSharper, which basically adds a bunch of functionality to it that makes it work like IntelliJ, IDEA IntelliJ, which is what I use for my day job. And C Sharp is, yeah, it's very Java-ish. I used to do a bunch of game development stuff in Java, but I haven't in a very long time. I've pretty much switched to Unity for everything about 3 years ago. Well, for this game anyway. Okay. No, ReSharper doesn't do anything specific for Unity. ReSharper just adds basically a ton of refactoring options. So, and key bindings. So like for someone like me who's coming from the Java side, and I'm used to working with IntelliJ, so it basically makes Visual Studio work more like IntelliJ, which may be something you do or don't want. But it adds a ton of code refactoring and code helpers. So you'll notice on the screen here, there's these squiggly yellow lines, or green lines. And basically it's ReSharper telling me that I can make this code better by converting it to a link expression. So then you can just come here and say Alt-Enter and say convert to link, and bam. So it just makes the code more concise. And then, so it's things like this. It says this can be converted to a constant. So basically, you can see over on the side here, it basically gives you a bunch of warnings. So you can spin through the warnings, and basically it makes your code, improves the quality of your code by helping you deal with, yeah, it's really, really nice. Now, you have to buy it. I can't remember how much ReSharper is. I don't think it's that much. I'm using a 30-day trial right now, but I'm definitely going to buy it. It's maybe $150 for a developer seat. Let's just go see. It's yeah, JetBrains is the one that makes it. Let's buy it. Yeah, so it's expensive. $250. Wait, individual developers, $150. That's what I thought. So it is expensive, but I would heartily recommend it. Definitely download the trial and check it out. Other things that are really nice, like there's just refactorings that I'm used to in Java. Like say this code right here, I wanted to pull out to a method. There's just a shortcut which was Control-Alt-M, and the shortcuts are the same for IntelliJ as they are for ReSharper. So I can just give this a method. What is this doing? This is render monster name. So now it just pulled all that code out into a method, which is really nice. I mean, it just makes your doing things like this helps you your code just be more readable, and pulling things out to a method. Like this is probably a bit here that I should pull out into a method. I say render monster difficulty, and you can see it basically gives you a preview of what it's going to do. And it lets you name the method parameters. So you can see I just pulled that stuff out into a method. It's probably telling me I can make these constants. So again, it's just a bunch of stuff around increasing code quality. Okay, so back to what we were doing. So we've got Let me change the name of this method. Render boss name, because that was actually what it was doing. All right, so it renders the capabilities. All right, so here's basically it tells you whether the monster is aggressive, whether the monster can see you or not, and how much damage they're going to do. All things that which we don't want to show if it's a pet. Or the same thing, I'll pull this stuff out into a method just to make the code a little cleaner. Render aggressivity, is that a word? It's going to be a word now. And damage. All right, so let's see how that looks now. Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Zapperpoke. Zapperpoke? No, whatever. I guess that's what it says. The text is really hard to read. It's green. We Slay Monsters is a roguelike game with a poker-like card-based combat mechanic. So as you can see, you can wander around the dungeon, and I'll just play for a second here. And then monsters come and attack you, and then you use these cards that are down here at the bottom to perform combat against the monsters, and you make combinations like you would poker. So like pairs, three of a kinds, full house, flushes, straights, basically anything you could play in poker. Anything you can play in poker, you can play here, with a couple of exceptions. The cards are obviously different because the cards are based on abilities. So the suits, instead of hearts and spades and diamonds, are like fireballs and lightnings and bowling balls and staffs. And there's 6 suits with face cards 1 through 9, instead of 4 suits with face cards ace through king. And then you can also play things like a straight. You can play with only 3 cards. It's like 5, 6, 7. So I'll play that attack on him. And that'll kill that guy. This is my pet. So he's going to go up here and attack this guy for me. There's another straight. 2, 3, 4. That'll kill that guy. We have been developing this game for, well, the very first incarnation of the game was for a 7-day roguelike competition, which they hold every year. 5 years ago, we've been actively developing the game nights and weekends for about 3 years. So we're just hobbyist game developers. But this project is, I mean, it's the furthest we've gotten with the game, and we're on Steam right now in early access. So we're pretty pleased, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback about the game. So what I'm working on right now is the character sheet for kittens. So I probably should say something like your pet. I'll do that. So under the name, I'll add just a little line that says thanks.
The failure screen comes up fast. Like as soon as it dies, I guess. It broadcasts the message that a prisoner died, and then the animation's already been done, and it's like, you failed.
That's funny. You could do it from the I was going to say, you could do it from the monster death animation. You could fire the event. So just at the very end of the animation, just say, if the thing that just died was a prisoner. Is there a way to do that? Actually, you can say if their AI is prisoner AI.
And then golden badges.
Yeah, so we probably need to. I can't remember what like says you won or lost the game.
So a little bit more than just broadcasting you moves.
I guess, yeah. All right, sorry. Nick was talking to me. Nick is my one of my co-conspirators. He's over there working on game stuff. Okay, so if the monster is a pet, we're going to add a new thing, and we're going to say your pet. I'm reading chat over on my other computer. I'll have to check those out. FX Cop and Style Cop. Do they basically do that? I assume that they do similar things to what ReSharper does, but maybe they're free. Brown kitten, your pet, and he pounces. Okay, so that's good. So that looks pretty good. We're still missing the images for the kittens, the large size images. I may go make those real quick, just so we have them as placeholders. Our artist normally does that, and he'll have to provide high-res versions of it, but instead of having a broken image for the pet, I may just make one real quick. Pouncing. Let's see if we have an icon for that. We may not even have an icon for it yet. We do not have an icon for pouncing, so we'll just have to go with that one. Maybe I'll just copy the icon for charging. Yeah, definitely not pouncing, but I'm going to copy this icon so we at least have a placeholder for it. Nah, you know what? We probably don't, because it's using the placeholder for, yeah, I'm not going to do that. All right, so I think, let me see, is there anything else I want to do for pet? I think so. So I'm going to make that real quick. I'm going to go dummy up an image for the large size of that guy. I think I already created a thing in Trello for Ray. Let's see what the deal is. We use Dropbox as a way, so our artist basically creates all the art, and we've agreed on a folder structure, and he drops it all off on Dropbox, and then we'll pull it in and put it in the game engine. Characters. So we do have the images there, so maybe I just haven't put them in the game yet. Characters, non-playable. Pet Kitten 1, Pet Kitten 2, Pet Kitten 3, and 4. Okay. So what didn't it like? It said Pet Kitten 2 character sheet was not there. So that's probably my problem. So we use Toolkit 2D with Unity instead of the built-in Unity stuff, and the main reason for that is that we started developing on this 3 years ago before Unity did not have any native support for 2D libraries, and at this point we're way too far into it to switch. It would be an extremely large amount of effort to switch over to that. All right, character sheet sprites. Do I have none of those? Sorry, I'm just looking for the. No, I have none of the non-playable large sprites out there.
What's going on here?
So all of our images, as you can see, there's a 1x and 2x size. The game, when we first started development, we were focusing on iOS. And so for displays with high resolutions like the iPhones have, you need to provide a low res and a high res version. So everything we've got in two versions, the 1x size and the 2x size. So there's kittens, old men. All right, so they need to be, yeah. All right, so that's why there's two sizes of everything. Actually, if you play like on a high, like I'm playing on a MacBook right now, running Windows, but if you play at like super high resolutions, the game will use the high res images as well. It actually looks really nice at the high resolution. So right now I've added those sprites, and Toolkit 2D basically takes all this and generates a sprite sheet. So that's what it's doing right now. Okay, so that is done. Interesting. Sorry, got a bunch of error messages doing that. So looks like there's a bunch of stuff missing. We need to audit all of these and figure out what's going on. Let me just look real quick here. Wizard. Email 1. Sure enough, there's only the 1x size. Okay, well, let me finish one thing at a time and I'll go back and look at this. So there's my image for the cat. So this is a rescue mission. This is the other character sheet that I need to fix for prisoners, because they're not going to attack the heroes. So probably a lot of the same things for pets we should do for prisoners as well. So I think that looks pretty good. Bunch of new stuff. Alright, so then we're going to call that one done. That one was update monster character sheet for pets. Alright, now we're going to do the same thing for prisoners. It should pretty much be similar to pets, so that should be pretty easy. I'm going to look real quick at all those missing images and see if they're actually there or if they're actually missing. There's Wizard. Yeah, they're definitely missing. Okay, so this is basically our to-do list for the artist for stuff that he needs to fix. So I just put that on his list, and there's not much I can do about it. So, character sheets. So basically, I'm going to add a only I knew how to program. Okay, so basically there's a special AI. Prisoners are a very specialized type of monster that doesn't move, is in a cell, but and has prisoner AI, and prisoner AI basically does nothing. So that's how we know that a particular monster is in fact a prisoner. So now back on the character sheet panel, I can add in almost everywhere that we're checking for pet. We're going to also check for prisoner. This one we're going to do a little bit different. Just add a little flavor text there. So it'll say the name of the monster, and then it'll say must be rescued. And then everything else. I think that should be it. So let's take a look. Sad kitten must be rescued. And the only effect is that they're imprisoned. So that looks correct. Brown kitten is my pet. And go ahead and rescue this to see what it looks like. I don't know. That actually might have been a bad idea. Now he's going to explode because that's what sheeps do. And I leveled up, so that's good. Let me just kill these last two rats off. So there's the key to rescue the prisoner. Oh. I got the same thing. There's two prisoners in a room.
Yeah, I'll probably work on that next. I just shouldn't be in the same one.
Oh, I almost killed the prisoner. The sheep exploded next to him and he's got 2 hit points left. So there I rescued 1 sad kitten. I rescued 2 sad kittens. Cool. Okay, that looks good. No one came to watch me play the game. Well, maybe you did. I don't know what you came for. All right, so that looks pretty good. All right, so this is a bug I noticed while I was playing the other day. Let's see if it's pretty easy to reproduce. Thanks, War Hero. Yeah, we tried. I love the idea of mashup games where you take something that's, like a typical dungeon crawler or roguelike and add something from a different area. So the idea of using poker cards to do attacks, it turned out pretty well. I'm very pleased with how the game has turned out, and hopefully everyone else likes it too and gives us lots of money. What was I checking? Right. So this is the micro map. There's 2 maps. There's kind of a micro map, which shows me my immediate area, and then there's a mini map, which will show the entire map for the entire level. So I think the bug I noticed was that as you level up, so I'm level 2, and this is a level 1 cow, so he's green to me, which means that he's easy. Kind of borrowed the MMO sort of coloring scheme. Where monsters' relative level to you is shown by a color. So green is easy, yellow's hard, red is really hard, and gray is super easy. So right now he's green to me, but if I level up, which I can cheat and just level up. So now he's gray here, but he's still green here on the micro map. So clearly there's something wrong. So that's the bug that I'm going to try to fix. It's pretty easy to reproduce. Micro map. So something's going on. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is reformat the source code, which is what I've been doing. So I don't know if you notice, I'm going to undo that for folks that are watching, so you can see, like, this is another thing that ReSharper does. Again, if you tell it to reformat the code, it will go through and do a bunch of common, in addition to the source code formatting, it will do a bunch of actual code cleanup things. Like these things right here really are constants. So you'll notice when I format the code, it converts them all to read-only. So it sort of recognizes and does a bunch of code analysis and recognizes that these three fields can be made read-only since they're assigned during the initialization of the field, and they can never be changed. So it changes them to read-only. Okay. So now I need to figure out, I don't remember what, there we go, set monster color. Where is this called from? Update monster colors. Oops. Aha. So that's how it's working on the mini-map. Right before the mini-map is shown, update monster colors is called. So what I need to do is something similar when the hero levels up. So what I don't know is hero script. Right, so this, on the hero script, when the hero levels up, there's a method that's called, using a messaging system. It's just a class I found out on the Unity wiki a long time ago for a very simple message broadcast and subscribe system. It allows the code to be a little more decoupled. So when the hero levels up, it calls this method update level sprite. So basically what I'm going to do here is, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do in Dungeon Manager, so this is the other, I'll show you another, for those of you that are asking about ReSharper earlier. So this is a nice feature, right? So I've typed the name of a method to invoke when this happens. That method does not exist. I can Alt-Enter on it, and I get this completion that says create method update micromap. So it automatically implements that method for me, and it starts off with the method being not implemented, and then I can just provide the implementation for the method. In this case, I'm going to call micromap.update monster colors. So now when the hero levels up, the micromap should update. So let's go back to our game and see if that fixed it. Of course, when you load the game, it's fine. So now I need to find some more monsters that are higher level than me. Okay. So there's some monsters that are higher level or the same level, but they're green, so that's the point. So now I'm going to level up. So they're still green, this guy's gray, and it updated on the micromap. Let's do it again. They should all turn gray if I level up again. Yep. So they updated on the micromap and on the minimap. Perfect. Hey, welcome, Highside. How you doing? Development is really exciting today. So you came at the right time because, we're just knocking out all kinds of bugs. Super exciting to watch. Okay, so that one's done. We use Git for version control on our project. I love Git. We use it for our day jobs. So we're very familiar with it, and I think it has a lot of capabilities, and I'm very pleased with it. I haven't actually looked at, I've just started using Visual Studio, and I know that it has Git support built in. I haven't really messed much with it because I'm very used to command line stuff, so you'll see me drop to the command line and do a bunch of stuff. I normally work on, I'm actually working on a MacBook running Windows, so I'm used to we do a bunch of stuff with the command line. Anyway, whoops. Alrighty. So, yeah, I think it is too. I need to take a little bit more time and learn more about Visual Studio. Like I said, I've just started using it in the last week and a half. I was using MonoDevelop before which ships with Unity, and I've actually used MonoDevelop for 3 years, and I want those 3 years of my life back because it's a piece of crap. I'm going to run and grab a drink. Be right back. Okay. Oh, that looks terrible when I leave. The green screen goes crazy. Okay. So I fixed most of the things that I wanted to fix. Let's see what else is on the list. Oh yeah, the tutorial. Let me fix that real quick. One of the things that we've kind of had a couple different styles of tutorial for the game. The current one that's in the game is way, way, way too much. So we know that. There's a thing to fix it. All right, so this is the problem I'm trying to fix right now, is the tutorial shows off the screen. And it's pointing at things. These things used to be 3 separate things. Oh, and the kitten stuff overlaps too. So that we need to fix that. Yeah, any tips you have would be great. I just started using the green screen last week. And we actually just got a new green screen this week, so we're playing around with it. But yeah, it's definitely, we've got some lights and the green screen set up. So any tips you've got? I've definitely been playing with a lot of the settings in OBS to get it to look good. This is what I mean. The tutorials are way too much, and we know that, but I at least want to fix it so they're not off the screen and underneath the UI elements. All right. If you remember how all this stuff works, it's the fun in programming is we wrote the tutorial system a long time ago, so to fix it now I have to remember how it works. Okay. So I know the tutorial is in here. There's basically a series of methods that get called. So here's how it shows the tutorial right now. There's basically a bunch of methods. It shows the tutorial, that step, and then goes to the next step. And then these files right here are the name of the tutorial text files. So like here's Dungeon Tutorial 1, 2, okay, so that's number 2 is the first one that's a problem, the health bar. So one thing I'm going to need to look at is, let me see what it says. Oh, that's great. Oh. You meant 0, 255, 0? Yeah. Cool. I won't mess with that now, but I'll play with that in a little bit. Thanks a lot, Highside. That's great. Okay. Right, you're the one that told you. Highside, right? You're the one that played our game, and you said the tutorial was a beatdown, right? Was that you? Okay. Sorry.
Put a Trello card in for those, green screen chips.
Oh yeah, good.
That way we don't forget it.
Yeah, we knew the tutorial was bad, and we wanted to get something. One of the problems we had is that I think, we know that getting tutorials right is a very hard thing to do, and we know it's too much right now. But we needed to give the players that were playing it for the first time some idea of what to do. So we kind of just threw a bunch of stuff together. But yeah, no, it definitely needs a lot of work. Okay. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought a lot. Okay, so dungeon layers. So let's see where the tutorial is being rendered. That's awesome. Yeah, no, after your preview of it, we got a good amount of boost on the traffic on our site, so thanks. And sales have been doing, kind of around that time, there were several different promotional things that happened, but I think your preview was one of them that helped. And the sales it's not like we're selling a ton. The game is early access, and to be honest, we really don't want to sell a ton. We just want enough people playing that we can get feedback about the content of the game, because we want people to like it. So we don't want to have no feedback on it. But we've been selling much more steadily since we were on your show. So thanks. That's awesome. Okay. Let's see, so he is at 310. $36.90. And then the tooltips, where do they show? So they show wherever the gold bar is, minus 80 pixels. So I'm going to play that again and just see. Health, XP, and gold. That's at 36.90. So tooltips. Yeah, so that's what I need to do first probably, is make sure that these guys probably need to change the order of these also. Should be health, experience, and then gold. Health. Alright, let's see how that looks. I know another thing we need to do is scoot it over, but hopefully this will fix it so it's the tutorial should now be on top of everything on this in the scene. Something did not work. Oh, right. So I totally screwed that up. Let's see. Show tutorial 1, that'll show 2, 2 will show 3, 3 should show 4, and then 4 should show 5. And I probably don't need to subtract 80 pixels from the Y anymore. They used to be at the bottom of the screen, and then they were at the top of the screen, and now they're up in the corner, so we've moved them around a couple of times. Oh, so I'm going to need to move it down a little bit. experience. So that's probably, I don't know. Too much. I may actually spend a little bit of time tweaking the tutorial here. And remove some of this text. So I'm gonna definitely need to move it, but not 80, maybe more like 40 pixels. And then also we need to move it in the X direction as well, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Maybe 50. This is the thrilling excitement of game development. You get to adjust things by minute pixels until your user interface looks good. This is what they don't tell you in game development school. I never went to game development school, so I don't know what they tell you. Yeah, so that's not great. One of the problems is that the tutorial system, oh, there's a way to move the arrow. Sorry, I forgot about that. Basically, the arrow's centered and the arrow needs to be over on the side, but I did add a way to offset the arrow. I just don't remember what that is. Let's see. X offset. So how do I pass in the X offset? So I pass in a tutorial. Yeah, so some of this stuff is, I haven't revisited a lot of this in a long time, so there's several different ways to show the tutorial modal. This is the one I want because it allows me to have a little fine-grained control about stuff. All right, so I want to do something like this. So I want to move the X over to the edge of the tutorial. So I want to make that maybe 60.
Should prisoners have names?
We'll have to make a kitten name generator.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because there's kittens, dogs, old men, and punk princesses. So we'll have to have name generators for each of them. Could be funny. Geezer McGeezerton. Grumpy McOldpants.
Those could be kitten names too.
All right, I'm just changing this up so that you use tutorial objects instead, which give me the ability to offset the X value for the arrow. The thing I'm going to come in here is I'm going to rename these files so that they're not numerically speaking. I'm just going to call it Dungeon Health Tutorial. That way I can easily change the order of the tutorial without the file names being confusing. So let's just give that a try and see how that looks. It's probably going to be better. Oops. I guess I forgot to delete my tutorial file. That tutorial.dat is a file that we use to keep track of which parts of the tutorial you've seen. So once you've seen it, it basically marks off that you've seen it, so you don't see it again. Alright, so clearly I did too much. Where is the blinking health bar? Or the blinking... Huh. So clearly I did something wrong. Oh, right, I said false, which means don't show me an arrow. That's totally, it did exactly what I told it to do. That's the thing about programming, boys and girls. It usually does exactly what you want it to do. It's closer. So I still need to move this guy. Okay. So that's not bad. It's very, very close. So I need to move this maybe... What I should do is pull this out into a method. Okay. I'll move this method down to the bottom underneath all these guys. Okay, so I'm going to show the health, experience, and gold. And then position. Maybe move the Y down a little bit more. And then move the X maybe 20 more pixels. Again, riveting stuff here, moving stuff around by pixels. That's why they call us pixel pushers. That's pretty good. Health bar, experience bar. All right, I'm gonna maybe move the arrow over, I don't know, like 4 more pixels. This is where my perfectionism, that's the word I was looking for, is maybe not so great. So make this 56. I try not to spend hours tweaking stuff like this, but I also think it's important. So anyone that's a game developer out there, I don't know if you agree or not, but little things matter. And I think, just as professional as you can make it, especially for indie game developers, I think that's one of the curses of indie game development, is that stuff just looks not professional. So I think it's important to sweat the small stuff. In fact, maybe I should write a blog post about that. It's a good idea. I'm actually going to make a note to myself about that. It's a fine line to tread there, because you could spend your entire life tweaking small things. So you obviously have to get the big things right also. But I think having a professional user interface and just care and attention to detail about small things can make a difference. So that looked pretty good. I'm going to go through that again a little slower. See if there's anything else I want to tweak, and then I'll probably call that done. Sorry, I was messing with Twitch over here. Monster. All right, so now I'm going to rename those files like I talked about. So tutorial 2 is the tutorial 4 is the experience tutorial. 3 is the all right, so that's good. I can change the order of them now without messing up stuff. And I'm going to go tweak some of the wording on some of this stuff a little bit. And combine it. The way the tutorial works is that every separate line will be rendered. It'll render that, and then it will allow you to click it to see the next line. And when you're done with all the lines in a particular file, it will go to the next tutorial step. Sorry, keep losing my train of thought. Yeah, probably don't need to say all that. They'll figure out when they level up that their health is restored. Okay, sorry. Messing over here with Twitch again. I've got MooBot set up. And I was trying to get it to announce our Twitter URL occasionally in chat, and it's just not working, so I'll mess with that some other time. This is your hero, blah, blah, blah. This is your health bar. When you reach 0, you'll die. You should avoid that. This is your experience bar. You level up. As you find gold, it will fill up. Yeah, I can probably combine those into one. Just need to rewrite it a little bit. Let's see. This is the one I was thinking. Probably don't need to say, as you find gold, it will fill up. That's probably evident. This is your gold bar. When it's full, you'll visit the item shop, which allows you to upgrade one of your items. I'll just say you'll visit the item shop because it's probably self-evident that the item shop allows you to do stuff with your items. That's probably a little better. Yeah, I should rename all of these because I think tutorial 1 isn't even the first one. Tutorial 1 shows, oh yeah, it does, okay. So I'll call that hero. Tutorial 5, yeah, this one's really long. Alright, what does this one say? This is the last dungeon tutorial. Tells you about movement, turn-based, and then you're done. I don't know what to call that one because it's a couple of things, so I'll just say dungeon, move, turn, tutorial. That's probably terrible. All right, one thing I wanted to fix also is the tutorial for the cards is not quite showing in the right place. It's showing at the very bottom of the screen. But
I'm not seeing why that little bit is different now. What changed the...
is it like you can see the green? Should I go ahead and tweak that stuff?
I don't read it. Alright, it's fixed.
All right. Go ahead and try this. Whoa, I'm invisible. All right, well, that's a terrible idea. I'll mess with this later.
Oh, no. Oh. You almost had it.
All right, that's fine. Sorry about that, everyone. We'll mess with the green screen later when everyone's not trying to watch our show. Right, card tutorial. So this says show arrow above the point of interest instead of below it, which is what we want. I'm going to close all these guys here so I can figure out why that's showing at the bottom. Again, some of this code was written a long time ago, so forgive me that I'm having to remember how it works. Spill reduction to 1. Okay, well, all right, I'll subject everyone to that one more time. $70, not. Still getting some artifacts down there.
I'm not sure done messing with
I know, but he said some more stuff, and he said I was very close. Blend should be lower, 74. Yeah, okay. That looks
it.
better.
Excellent.
I'll try 74. That looks pretty good. Does that look good on yours, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Other than
High sight.
light being to the wrong temperature.
Yeah, we've got a couple of lights, and they're very. They need to be warmer. Okay, now that our green screen is perfect, we can actually fix the things that need to be fixed. So what does this do? So if we're showing above the point of interest, do that.
You have a separate card for new background image for film rescue.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
It's over in Ray's stuff.
I see. So should I just say that that one story is done and we'll have a separate story?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, it'll show death, but so what? You can also set the failure text. Did you? Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing I added is the ability to do custom failure text.
Didn't see that.
It's in random. So if you look at, I totally am lying.
Okay.
Am I lying?
Because you're building a string. You have a string builder and you're setting the text for say this stuff when you win, say this stuff when you lose. So now I have a third set of things to say.
Yeah, maybe I meant to add failure text. Yeah, I totally did. Yeah, that's fine. The idea is that each mission, because right now missions can provide their intro, their short intro, and then the text that shows when you win.
Mm-hmm.
So I want the mission to do the same thing. The mission will provide the text when you lose.
I can do that.
And then I think once a mission started, it copies all that text to the map summary, and then that's what's persisted. So that's another thing I tried to do is really separate the mission from the map summary because it was a little bit intertwined with text and things getting set. So now like all the, anyway. Okay, sorry. Distractions are easy to get caught up in. I don't even understand. I wrote this, I don't even understand how it works. It's terrible. So I say show it at the center, minus 180. What if I just show it at the center? What does that do? Everyone gets to watch me struggle with how I wrote my own code and don't understand why it doesn't work. It's probably pretty common with people, especially with projects that have been going on for years. I swear that's half the time I do is spend a bunch of time figuring out how I wrote something. So that's not bad. Okay, so that wasn't bad. So probably maybe only like 20, 30? I'm going to say 30 is perfect. Looks like we had some new folks join, or old folks that came back. Not old folks, not people that are old, but people that were here prior. So welcome. How are you doing? See, I say welcome to people and then I immediately forget what I was in the middle of doing. It's pretty good. Maybe just another 5 pixels. That's very pedantic of me, I know. Just want it to be perfect. Those 6 pixels. Another thing that we did early on was essentially wrote our own user interface code. And now with Unity 4.6, there's a new GUI. So I would love to switch over to that, but again, it's just so much work. That looks pretty good. All right, and I'm going to take a quick swag at combining and making that text a little shorter so there's less to click through on that particular bit of the tutorial. So that was the card. Probably figure out, most people know that that may be too long. Let's see how that looks. Nope. 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 All right, I'm just going to undo all that, and I'll work on cleaning up the tutorial a little bit later. I thought that one might be easy, but clearly not. So we're going to call that done. Nick did some stuff. I'll grab his changes before I can push mine. I'm sure there's no conflicts. No conflicts. Excellent.
So with these things, set up your gets and sets.
Mhm.
Can you set a default value?
No. If you want to do it that way, you can do it. You have to do it like a, because those are the simple accessor. You can still have it point to a variable. Then you can initialize the value of the variable. But then you just have to do, the get has to then return.
Yeah. And then you just make a real get.
Yeah.
And set.
Yeah. Or you can set it in the constructor.
Okay.
That's the other way you can set a default value. Make this bigger. Oh, I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I mean, I'm not really sorry because everyone has to go sometimes, so I really don't feel bad at all. All right, so